All good, all good. I love like I think like every single band from the States that we've ever played with has said exactly that. Like when they like say like thanks for us, like calling out to like the crowd, like, oh, thanks to I think I'm gonna butcher this, but like it's like every single time I'm like, ah no, it's great. Like having a go at it.
Well, hell yeah. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Not really. What are you drinking tonight?
So I for tonight's episode, I got some hams. I don't know if they
Hams.
have
No.
hams up in your neck of the woods. But it's basically. Do you have PBR up there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I like to compare this one and say like it's PBR's uh like cousin beer. So like they're both the beers that you'll find at like the punk bars, dive
Mhm.
bars. Usually get a can of this for like a couple bucks, and they'll have it on hand all night. But goes down nice and smooth. Not as
Nice.
thick, I would say, as like PBR, but still really
Okay.
good.
All right. Yeah, I'm a big like watery beer drinker personally.
Okay.
So I like my summer beers, Like I got
Oh
like
yeah.
a nice Modelo.
Ooh, nice.
So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
just like something that just goes in and out.
Yeah. No, I feel that I need to restock here pretty soon. I think the next case that goes in the fridge is another case of Modelo. I haven't had a case in the fridge in a while.
Yeah, always good.
Yeah. So what we'll do here is I'll count us down. Well, I like to do an opening crack if you want to crack that with me,
Oh
um,
yeah.
and then uh, and then I'll do the little intro, bring you in, and we'll just have a good time. All right, in three, two, one. Welcome to the Beers with Bands podcast with your host, Michael Torres. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beers with Bands. Very stoked on this episode. It's been a while since I've had a Canadian band on the show. So long that I can't even remember who the last Canadian band was. Crazy enough. But tonight I'm sitting down with Sam from Avec Plaisir. How are you doing?
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much for the invite on the illustrious Beers with Bands. Yeah.
No, thank you for accepting the invite. You guys have a lot of cool stuff going on, so I'm really stoked to kind of chat about everything going on. Before we get too far, like I said, you're Sam. What do you do in Avec Plaisir?
So I do the main vocals. I do guitars as well. But I will say that pretty much all of us do vocal duty as well. But
Okay,
yeah, mainly guitar vocals. Yeah.
okay. And then for people that aren't familiar with your band, I like how the little tagline you guys have kind of everywhere: "Sad boy indie punk from Montreal," and it's some killer stuff that you guys have out. I gotta admit, I kind of did. Obviously, leading up to this, listen to active listening, especially since the drop of last week. But this morning, I kind of put on demos for Dave and started at
Oh,
the
nice.
very beginning and made my journey through the band's life, and it was a great listen. Everything still hits so well.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. I haven't listened to those like demos for quite a while, but I do remember that like they're very different. Like for me anyway, like very raw. I think we were trying to go more like very like I don't know how, but like the vocals are like really like kind of screamy Nelly.
Hmm.
But yeah. So a little softer now at our older age. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of nice to see, and like because like I say, every release is like a chapter in a band's life. So to kind of
Mm.
see how it started to where you guys are now, like I know even friends back home, like I would watch a band start out as like a really fast tempo like pop punk band, and then by the time that they were at the end of the band's life, they were like a twinkly Midwest emo band
Mm.
just because of, you know, that's what the influences are, or like that's where they're at now in their life. And it's really just cool always to see that transition.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Uh, do you feel like, um, do you feel like any of that initial like uh, harshness was because like I'm not too familiar, obviously, with like the Montreal scene or how it is, but like, did it
Hmm.
have any? uh did that have any effect on like those early sounds, or like what's kind of like going on in Montreal?
To be honest, it wasn't much from Montreal. I'd say the closest in Montreal is like what I think is probably the best Montreal band, which is Golfer. RIP, they're not around anymore until recently, but they were like more of like yeah, like the mathy Midwest emo, a little more towards math sort of band that like us as a group loved. But we actually took a lot of inspiration from there's a band in France called Sport,
Mm.
one of the many sport bands.
Yeah.
And they kind of have it this like a little bit more of a harsher uh, Midwest emo, tiny bit mathy, but like the vocals are like very raw.
Okay.
And I'd say it's probably from there that we kind of took that inspiration from, tried to do something similar to that. And we didn't do it as well, but it evolved eventually. We learned how to sing a little bit better and play our instruments a little bit better. So it started to evolve into our own band from that. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, for everyone listening, please definitely go check out Demos for Dave and I Don't Really Car, and as well as an album, your guys' debut LP. Great names throughout. But you know everything still rips, and it was a joy to listen to this morning. So take what Sam's saying with a grain of salt. Go be sure to listen to those. And I believe if you're in Canada, there's still some copies of vinyl that people can probably pick up. I think for an album, I think I saw still, and maybe some tapes as well.
Yeah. We have tapes. I think there's only the new album on vinyl now, which is good for us,
Yeah,
but bad if anyone else wants that first album. But yeah, tapes for sure.
yeah. One thing I did want to point out with before we get into active listening, your sophomore LP, but an album for people looking at it the first time might be a little a taken back because you guys had this. I feel like obviously good inside joke where every every song title on the album starts with the letter J, a word
Yeah.
that starts with the letter J, like not just like putting J in front of everything, but like I saw that and I was so just like, what's going on? Like, what is the story behind deciding to do that for that album?
That actually came to bite us in the ass so much because, like, even to this day, we get so confused between the songs. Um, but I think it was just that while we were writing the some of the songs, like I think we wrote three or four in a row, and I was naming them, and like we just noticed, like, oh, these are all like J songs. And then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny to just like keep this up? And then for some stupid reason we did. There was like no deeper meaning or anything. It was just yeah, just us being stupid. And then
Jeez.
ruining it for ourselves. So then we get confused by everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys had like secret names for them because obviously you go to write the set list. They're all since they all start with J. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard to try and figure out what to play next or what's actually going next. So do you guys have like secret code names for any of the songs to kind of help differentiate it?
Uh that's a good question. I need to try and remember these song titles. Uh no, I think they're all we call them by
By
their
their
actual
actual names?
names. Yeah, yeah. And that's probably why it's so confusing. I mean, we should have probably gotten some nicknames for the songs instead, make things easier.
Uh, no, that's great. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay, I have to add that to my list of questions because I don't think I've ever seen another band do that and pull it off. Um, but that's that. Yeah, I still think it's great. Um, and then it obviously started listening to active listening. The first, not the first track, but we start getting into track 2 and 3. They both start with J's, and part of me, as like I'm reading the track list, I was like, oh man, are they going to do it again? But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't, thankfully, on this one. Granted, there's still some great names on here that we'll talk about in a little bit, but active listening, the sophomore EP, been out at this point for not even a full week. It came out on Halloween.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
like,
intentional as well.
how does it feel to kind of finally have this one out? I know some of the singles kind of been around since 2023.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's been a while. I don't think there's any other reason than just like we were taking our time with it. Like we had a bunch of songs that had come and gone since this, and like finally we got all of these down. But yeah, super happy to have it out finally because yeah, it's been a while. And yeah, those I think it was like two songs that we released like first off. Um, Junji Burrito and Gwen Stefani, and yeah, it was a good like year and a half or two between like that and releasing the full album. So yeah, very happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a killer album to listen to for people that haven't checked it out yet. Like, it's like nothing misses in this entire
Oh,
thing, and
awesome!
there's
Thanks.
a lot of cool things that are kind of going on too. Like, you have a couple instrumental tracks kind of breaking up the monotony a little bit, or
Mm.
I feel like monotony is a bad word. Don't take that in the wrong context. But we have a couple acoustic instrumental tracks to kind of in there in its entirety. But overall, like, it's a sick album, and I'm happy for you guys to finally get it out after all this time.
Awesome! Thanks so much. Yeah, I think the last track is like one of the instrumental songs, and I think at the moment it's probably my favorite one. I don't know why. It's just like I'm just like super happy with that. It has like such a vibe for me. I'm just like, oh, that's sick. Yeah.
Such a vibe, and also such a great name as well. For people listening, we're talking about Florida man on drugs kills imaginary friend and turns himself in. Uh, I timed it up perfectly right before I got on here. I was able to kind of listen to the whole album one more time, and it was just towards the end of that track. So like if I hit play right now on Spotify, it'll turn right back on. But I gotta admit, I agree with you. Like, it's such a great track, and I don't know what it is. Um, Even being instrumental and everything like that, like it's part of me like wants to say it's a top song, like track on the album, but I almost like feel like it's a disservice to some of the good lyrics that are out there in this album. But it's a solid track regardless.
Matches. It's okay. I think like I do the vocals for most of it. So like I'm with you. Like it doesn't need to have vocals in it. It can be the top track.
Okay. Some other, since we kind of mentioned that song title, a couple other song titles that I kind of wanted to mention. Um, One that it really hit me on the drive home when I was listening to it, and I saw it pop up on the screen, was Bird Reynolds. I
Mm.
saw that, and then it took me a second, and I think I know where you guys are going with this one. Bird Reynolds, everyone that's a big fan of It's Always Sunny, D Reynolds, aka the Bird. To see that on there, like it when my mind clicked, I thought it was the funniest fucking thing at 4:30 in the afternoon today. So that was great to see in there. Um,
That was a good one from our other guitarist vocalist Seb. He's come up with a few of these titles as well. That was a good one from him. Yeah.
yeah. And then I think the other one that I really liked. I mean, Gwen Stefani, just that is kind of funny in its own. Lamborghini Carbonara is great. Um, 42 species of deer PowerPoint presentation titling, like, I think that's kind of funny. And then there's also like the final version 7 PSD, like that
Oh yeah.
little those little things are like funny just to kind of put in there, because like I feel like there's a point in time where we kind of lost some funny titles, but then like people started coming back with like the really long ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we've seen
Fall
like
Out
Hot
Boy
Mulligan,
style.
yeah, Fall Out Boy, Hot Mulligan's been doing it, but to see like just kind of short, sweet ones in there, like
Mm.
that's what the bread and butter. Especially if you can be like kind of tongue in cheek with it at the same time, it's great.
Yeah, yeah. 100% agree.
Um, which I did want to talk about. 42 Species of Deer.
Hmm.
Another instrumental track that's it's very solid. At the end of it, there's a sound clip that I had to look up because I had never heard of the sound clip
Oh
before.
no.
So I was, and sound clips are one of my favorite things in songs and stuff like that. Uh, and it obviously pairs well going into the next song of "Oh Jesus, Jesus Christ, Fenton." But I had never seen the original sound clip of all these basically deer running through this pasture or field.
Yeah, yeah.
So to kind of having it all tie in at the end of it, like, man, that's a lot of thinking to kind of like put it all together that way, to have it titled that, have it reference this sound clip, go into the next song. Like that's some big brain stuff. How does that come? How does that come about?
I'd say it's like meme mush, like shit brain, if anything. But yeah, uh, yeah, I think it was my other bandmates that showed me that clip, which is like I think it's like a 10-year-old sort of meme at this
Yeah.
point. And it was like the first time I'd seen it as well. And I was like, oh, this is like hilarious. And then for some reason, just needed to put it in. And then I think some of the song of like, Oh, Jesus Christ, Fenton was written around that, like
Mm.
from the clip. And yeah, and like you said, so the instrumental clip that goes into that song is like referencing the deer in the actual clip as well. So just really trying to like yeah merge all the meme brain together. Yeah, but yeah, super happy with those songs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, normally you think of songs going together in the aspect of fading into each other, two songs almost becoming one, but to have it be so kind of like meta and on top of each other at the same time, and like reference each other, go into each other, sequence with each other, like it. There's so many ties together that just make it, I think, a great pairing on that all around.
Thanks.
Uh, there's also, and I was trying to pinpoint it too, because I feel like there's at the end of Imagine, uh, Florida Man. I feel like there's like another little like sound
Oh
clip
yeah, yeah.
kind of going on in that. Like, what is that that's happening?
So our drummer is Max. Our drummer is like the only actual musician in the band. So like he's like crazy good at drums. Usually he's doing like everything like one take. Like it's wild. So like the recording of this song when he was doing the drums, like I think most of it is like the one take. And then so at the end, like I really wanted to have it kind of like fade out a little bit and like sound like you're actually in the room, like how it actually sounded when he was
Hmm.
recording it. So it kind of does that at the end. And then the sound bites at the end are actually him at the end of that take. Because we pretty much just said like, okay, like we're gonna like finish the kind of the instrumental part here, but just like go crazy for as long as you want afterwards. So he kind of did that, and then eventually he like dropped his stick somewhere, and he like kind of like ended it how it ends, and then that's him just saying like, "Oh, I dropped my baguette," which is like the stick in French, and then he says, "I'm not as good as I used to be," and that's probably like the best line in the whole album, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it comes. It's one of those that I think you really need to have like headphones and cranked a little bit just to
Oh,
like kind of
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
But like, because I kind of heard glimpses of it like earlier today. I was like, oh, okay, there's something there. I got to go back and like kind of redo this and figure out what I can find. But also like, obviously calling it a baguette. You guys are, like I mentioned, in Montreal, in Quebec, French Canadians. If we couldn't tell from your accent at this point, which love it.
No, I'm Australian. I will say
Okay,
I'm the Australian in the band, but the rest of the band is French Canadian,
okay.
100%.
I do want to point this out, and so I don't sound like just a dumb American. I was watching stuff earlier, and I couldn't tell if it was a full Australian accent, and so like I at least part of me deep down thought Australian. Canadians that are listening, we're not all terrible at what we're
No,
computing
that's
with
okay.
geography.
Everyone over here either thinks that I'm British or like from a different part of Canada anyway, so it's fine.
That's okay. Uh, us we just hear things and then we just assume, I guess. But no, it's cool to kind of tie that in because like one thing I wanted to point out is the band's name Avec Plaisir is French for with pleasure. uh I did my research, looked that one up. But like to have that kind of tie in, obviously being in such a predominantly, one I feel like a part of that country where part of Canada where it's so on the line of like everything's kind of dual signed. We have everything
Hmm. Hmm.
in English and in French because it's such an intermingled community in that aspect. But to have the band name kind of reflect that in there, I really loved that little like touch, and showing that side of where you guys are living and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like the adding at least the name, I think is like, yeah, the very least we could do. I think it's been talked about in the band for like a while of like doing a song in French or like more songs in French. But yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but like for sure, we would need to show our Quebec pride.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be cool because like, as someone that doesn't know a lot of like French speaking bands that are doing stuff, like everyone kind of knows Chunk, but a lot of their songs were done in English, and I know there's a lot of like Spain band like pop punk bands that do stuff in English too. Uh, but every once in a while, when you find like a pop punk band doing it in their own language, it
Hmm.
just rips so hard. Like I remember I found this band in, I think they're from like outs. I want to forget exactly where they're from, but somewhere in Mexico. And like I found like their early EP, and that shit just ripped as like someone that speaks Spanish and understanding it, but like being like, this is just like they have the same problems and like in just a different format or like they're explaining it differently. Like it's just cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know if it's just because it's what I listen to, but I feel like there are a lot of like kind of screamo bands from like Europe that yeah sing in like their own language, and I feel like it's like more predominant in that scene compared to like pop punk and more like punk adjacent, I guess. But yeah, I love like I love hearing like these bands just like go off in their own language. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy good.
Yeah, because I think I was at the record store recently and I found I kept seeing this one record in like the U section. It'd been there a couple times since I went, so I was finally like, you know what, I want to give this record a home. It turns out it's like some band from like Belgium, and like they're kind of like a hardcore punk band, and it was just like really sick just to like put it on and just be like, oh shit, like I wasn't expecting this, especially since like their album title was like some uh like Spanish phrase that like relates to like some old school like book or painting or whatever, but like it was just all encapsulating, and I was just like, man, this is fucking sick. I don't understand like most of what they're saying, but I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Oh, all right, you have to send it over. It sounds great.
Okay. Hell yeah. And then I did find that it was the same day. I'm gonna forget the I did pick up like an Australian record also. Not to garner some more good wishes with you, but I'll have to remember who that was and send it over as well. I think they were like an early 2000s like punk band as well. But um, speaking of Australia, the artwork for this album was done
Mm.
by a fellow Australian. For people that have checked it out, I feel like it's a great painting of like this kitchen and everything, and with the white vinyl, like I feel like it works out perfectly. But like, how did you end up working with this person to kind of get this done?
Yeah, so this is a friend in Australia from when I was living there. And yeah, she does like painting professionally. So I've been wanting to use one of her paintings for quite a while. And like obviously she's super nice, so she was like, "Oh yeah, like go for it." And I was like, she was working on this one while we were doing the album, and I was like, do you think you will have this finished like by this time? And she's like, yeah, I think so. So it was like really lucky and like a lot of hard work for her to do that. But yeah, it's really nice. It's her dad's kitchen in Japan because she's
Oh,
half Japanese. Um, and yeah, she did like a full series kind of in her dad's home. And this one just like spoke to us. Like all of us were like, this is like the vibe, just
yeah.
like kitchen, living room, kitchen sort of spot with like some air coming through. It's like, yeah, that with like active listening, we're like, this is the vibe for the album.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is. It, yeah, like you're saying, it works um, for this record in such a good way. I don't know if it's just like the calm colors that she used, and just knowing
Mm.
like, everything you guys are doing isn't like in your face. It's like a nice vibe throughout. Um, I don't know. It just ties so well, and like I said, with the white vinyl too. Perfect. Hand in hand. I can't think of the right word right now, but like they go
Yeah.
to, compatible with each other. It's perfect.
Accompaniment.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of those words.
but even like the artwork that you guys had on an album, and I really don't car, and like demos for Dave, like that. Those art pieces of artwork were so sick as well.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
like the person that did those, like you guys have always had like these really cool like album arts throughout, which has been sick.
I think we're super lucky with knowing like painters, to be honest. Like all of the stuff before this latest album was done by Dave, the one on the cover of Demos for Dave. So that was like a self-portrait of himself. And he's a friend like from over here, and he's like big into like emo, Midwest emo, all of this stuff. So he was just like, oh yeah, like use any of my paintings. He does this like on the side, and it was just like a bit of a bummer that he's like not doing as many paintings anymore. So
Mm,
I was like, I guess it's time to ask my other friend Holly.
yeah. Yeah, both. I mean, both of them have killed it. For people
Yeah,
that, like I said, go listen to the early stuff, but also take a look at those cover arts. Um, uh, I was trying to think of I have it up on one of these screens as to which one was my. It would help if I had it all pulled up properly. But yeah, I think they're all unique in their own way, and it's hard to say like both two different styles. It's hard, I think, to say like which one would be my favorite out of everything that's been done. But I mean, also the one for the split of demos for Dave, and then I really don't car, like that's another good one too. Just all around, just super sick stuff.
yeah, yeah. I think like the one for an album, which is like a Canadian petrol station,
Hmm.
is kind of on brand for that album. I feel like that album's kind of just like I don't know. It's it's like fun, raw, but like a little disgusting. So yeah, it kind of fits the vibe. I think that's probably still like up there with one of my favorite paintings.
Yeah. Uh, I know coming up, this episode will come out after it, but you
Mm.
know, you're doing kind of like a double album release show, but also kind of like a 3 day run at the same time with guest. I'm gonna
Uh,
butcher it. Guest
guest
room
room
service
status.
I don't know
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
want to say service. I feel so bad because they're actually going to be on the show here pretty soon.
Oh yeah,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so we'll maybe get some inside questions from you in a little bit for them. But seeing that kind of happen hand in hand, that's really cool that you guys both have stuff coming out so relatively soon. Like
Mhm.
I'm terrible on words today. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So close to releases, happening so close to each other, but also being able to kind of turn it into like this nice weekender. celebrating both your LP and their EP, which is great.
Yeah, 100%. Like we played with them like I think 2 or 3 times now, like because they're like in Ottawa, like just down the road.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, like it was really funny because we planned these shows like quite a while ago, and we only figured out that we're both like we're just using as a distributor, but like we're trying records putting like out both of our stuff, and we like only found out from like seeing the post, and I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because I mean that's how I found out about really both of you guys was because of Jordan and all the work he's doing, and just finding the singles as things have been going on. But yeah, I thought it was also like I didn't realize you guys were also both Canadian and that close. But it is
Mhm.
kind of funny how at the end of the day, like the world's that small where you're both on the kind of the same label distributor
Yeah.
together at the end of the day.
Yeah. And especially over here, like I mean, there are other bands, but like I feel like there's like it's pretty scarce for like emo, Midwest emo, like these sort of bands, like this sort of like punk over here, especially like I said before, like Golfer, who that I think they were like the big daddy Midwest emo band over here for quite a while. So like they kind of called it quits, and it's one less band out of like I think there's like five of us here. Like yeah. So it's good to have someone else these kids that are playing so
Yeah,
close to us as well.
because like if you guys want to really hit a good like not necessarily even like Midwest emo scene, but like emo scene in general, do you guys kind of have to kind of head outside of Montreal a little bit to get to like a good spot?
I think so. Like in Canada, I think Toronto is by far like the hot spot. Obviously, you have like a lot of bands coming through Toronto in general, especially compared to Montreal. I think it's kind of like it's not really recent, but like I feel like a lot of bands in general are like not coming through Montreal as much anymore, which is a shame. But yeah, I think in terms of the scene in general, like Toronto is just like pumping. So like uh, if you want like a good like kind of following, big crowd, everything like fun party vibe, I think Toronto's the place to be. Like we're super like lucky over here because obviously we have like a bunch of friends that like we forced to like emo music. But like in terms of just general people that like the scene, like I think it's a little less over here. Like the hardcore punk, metal, like great, like fantastic scenes, but like you get a little bit like towards Midwest emo or like even like kind of like scrams bands, and it's pretty bare,
Mm.
which is a
Uh,
shame.
yeah, which is a shame, but it's also kind of crazy to think of with like how big um, Canada is. You figure there would be a lot more influx of stuff because like obviously we know like the heavy hitters that are coming out of Canada as like seeing them kind of tour around the U.S. Obviously in the hardcore metalcore scene we have like the goats and counterparts, and then lately Arms Length and just been
Mm,
killing it in what they're doing, and I think when I talked to them at one point too, like they kind of reiterated the same thing. I know they're I think closer to originally like from like the Hamilton area, but
oh,
they
okay.
even I think said that like if you really got to find like the good niche for like some of those
Mm-hmm.
shows, and when you find them, like that like area will really just pop off and like can have a good following because there's not all like there's not emo shows going on all the time. So if you have like the right spot, like it can be really crazy sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, the dream. But yeah, it's I think the annoying thing is that like New York, for example, is like 6 hours away from here, and like that's like Jersey, everywhere around there, Philadelphia is like crazy scenes. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like it goes off over there, and that's like, but it's impossible for us to get down. Like especially with the visas these days. It's like
Hmm.
last time I checked, it's like more than a year to wait for a music visa. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. I was talking one of the bands that I can't think of that was on. I was like trying to figure out when they might come down to the states. It's always it'd be sick to like talk with the band on here and then get to see them as they come through. And they were like, yeah, there's probably no way if we do, it's going to be super like illegal and sketchy because visa time and doing it the legal way is takes so much time and money just to try and get a visa to come
Hmm.
down for even a show, not let alone a whole tour. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bummer. But I'll still hold out hope. I mean, like maybe something will happen. Like I don't know, the visa will change or like someone organizes stuff for us. That'd be easier. Yeah. But one day we'll make it. Yeah.
Because you guys haven't played in the States as of yet, right?
No, no, no. We've tried. Well, tried. I've like tried to start the process like a couple of times, and like I said, yeah, it's like it says a year to wait, but like you have to give all the information in your submission, and it's like, oh, okay, so you need to get stuff like venues and stuff done like a year in advance, and
Right.
like
Which is
for like small bands like us, it's like impossible. It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's such a tricky thing because like most bands that are trying to go on tour right now, like they might have something figured out maybe 6 months in advance if they're really on top of it.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, like to have it a year at least in advance, like there's no way you would have that readily available. Like, and I think that's like one of the shitty things about that system is like I think they deep down know that you're not going to have that, so it's just an easy way to be like, well, you don't have it. Like, sorry,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
but but at least but you guys at least have while we have Fest in Florida, you guys at least have Pooza Fest that happens up in Canada. I don't.
that's
Um,
true. Yep,
so yeah,
yep.
that's a bucket list item for me to try and go to Pooza Fest at one of these times. Uh, I think they're still doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
on in May. You should come over. Like, not saying we're playing, but like, I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I do know a couple of bands that are coming over, and I think it's going to be a good festival this year. Yeah.
Hell yeah, sick. Because you guys, I think I saw when I was scrolling through everything, you guys have played at least once or twice, right?
Yeah, we played, I think 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, that was sick. Who did we play with? There was another really good band. I can't remember. I feel like there's like so many like they usually get like three or four like good like kind of Midwest emo adjacent bands like each
Mm-hmm.
year. I think last year was Michael Cera Palin played.
Nice.
Um and yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, we get some good bands through. So that's lucky. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of these days I'll make it up there and I'll let you know for sure. And we'll have
Mm-hmm.
to get a couple cold Modelo's in person.
Yes. Yes. No, we'll get some more trash over here. A Labatt 50 is a good one over here. It's like a nice big 40 bottle. You can
Okay.
like dirt cheap. We'll go through those. It'll be perfect.
Deal. You got me sold. Uh, um, kind of hopping back into this album. I know we've kind of jumped around. Uh, you know, like I said, I think it's a solid album. For people that are looking at it, 13 songs. It's not too crazy because it's still there's like quite a few short songs in here, um, which kind of leads me into thinking like, obviously we have 13 songs on this. We had a decent amount of time while you guys were like cooking up the album, but like how many songs were left on the cutting room floor after this?
I think, I mean, there were, there were so many songs that were like kind of not 100% finished. But I think like these ones are the ones that were like 100% done. And I was kind of like, could take off like two of them if we really wanted to. I was like, if like the band as a whole doesn't like any ones specifically, like maybe we can take off a couple, but then we're like, nah, let's just put them all on. Like it kind of flows all nicely as well. So I'd say like songs that were left off were like just like probably like 95% complete. Like we were just like, like we probably don't need to finish this one because like doesn't stir emotions in us
Yeah.
enough. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, after listening to this album, on repeat for most of the day, like I can't think of one of these songs or two of these songs that would have been able to been cut, because I feel like it would almost disrupt the flow that is
Mm.
is nicely going on throughout the whole album.
Yeah, I think well for us as well, like as a band, like we all have like kind of uh different types of songs that we write that we like. So like I feel like we would come across one song and one of us might be like, it's okay, we could get rid of it if we wanted to. But then another person will be like, no, this is like one of the best songs on the album. So like I think that also kind of stops it, like stops any coming off.
Does that make it kind of hard when you guys are coming up with a set list? If everyone kind of has like their top favorites.
Um, Now, not so much, I don't think, because I think we kind of, in terms of like the live show, we kind of go more towards just like, all right, let's do like 30 minutes of like our intense tracks, like no stopping. Let's go. So like before we used to add like kind of some of the softer songs in there, but now we're just like, it's fine. Like we'll choose like the most like I don't want to say like dance worthy, but like kind of like
Upbeat.
yeah, like loud songs, and then that's it. And then we just kind of like choose from that.
Okay. Hell yeah. I mean, it sounds like it'd be a great set. So everyone that's listening, that's in your neck of the woods, be sure to we'll talk links and like how to see you guys in person. But that just so much energy sounds like it's packed into like a show, which would be just sick to see. Just real in your face. Like, uh, yeah, I think it'd be a great time catching you guys in person.
Thank you, thank you. I would agree. So please, anyone listening, come. Yeah, sometimes my aunt kind of dies, and I think the last time we were in Toronto, actually, it died a bit, and like so I just like hop on the mic and hop in the pit that doesn't really exist. There's just people kind of standing around, but I get a bit too intense. So like if my aunt dies, it's entertaining at least. So.
Okay. Uh, Hell yeah. Let's see. What else did I have here? I know we've kind of jumped around in like typical Beers with Bands fashion. I kind of jump around and hit different things that think of off this album. Like I said, I think it's a great album. Kind of going back to what we said, I think Florida Man's a solid song. I really do also really love Lamborghini as probably one of my favorite tracks.
Oh,
But it's
nice.
like if someone's checking this out for the first time and getting a full feel for the band, like what is something that they should kind of like expect out of this album, or be ready for?
Uh, Good question. Oh, nice sound effect as well. That's great. um, yeah. I don't know. Like obviously, like I said with like our live set, I think it kind of translate a bit to like the album, at least like the newer album where I think we're trying to like be more loud than not loud these days. Um, but like you said before, like there are like these dips. So obviously like the instrumental tracks, like there's an acoustic one in there. So like I don't know, just trying to keep it a little maybe eclectic is the word. Like not expecting the same kind of style of song
Hmm.
one after the other. Um as best we can do. But I mean it ends up just being like it does sound like our style of music, but like, yeah, I would say expect some loudness and hopefully catchiness. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. To kind of reiterate what you said, like, yes, at the end of the day, it all sounds, it's got that Midwest emo kind of sound to it, but no song, when you listen to it, nothing sounds the same as itself, which is great in a record. So you don't kind of get to like song five and you're like, I feel like I've heard this
Mm.
song already. Like, everything's on its own is great in its own aspect. Um, I love the inclusion of the instrumental tracks, like I said, to kind of to break it up a little bit and kind of like take us, give us those ebbs and flows throughout.
Mm.
At the end of the day, I think it's a solid record, and I'm really stoked on everyone to hopefully finally hear it for the first time if they haven't already.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, it's a solid album. Also, how I've said, doing clear with this album artwork works really well. Was the intention always to kind of do clear? I know it's always a big like aspect to kind of decide what color, if you can do a color
Mm.
or do something special rather than just a normal black variant. What was the idea to kind of go with a clear version?
Um, yeah, it was definitely going to be something light, and I think what sold me on Clear is I have the LP of Hikes album. I don't know if you know Hikes.
Mm,
They're like very noodly, like very soft kind of math rock band. Um, and like one of my favorite albums. And like that's such a beautiful like LP packaging as well, like a clear LP, like the like everything's very like light. And I was like, ah, that's like the vibe. So I was like, I think with this, like to go with like the white kind of background of the painting, like a clear vinyl was the way to go. But yeah, Hikes really sold me on it.
okay. Yeah, no, that I think it came out sick. I'll have to go check out that Hikes album now. But yeah, because it's always a big accomplishment for a band to be able to get vinyl. I know you guys were able to do vinyl for an album, but to to kind of get to do something that's just not the nothing against the bands that do this. I know shit's expensive, so get what you can and appreciate it. But like for bands that aren't are able to not get just a black variant, it's
Mm-hmm.
always interesting to see like kind of what they come up with. Obviously, the clear works really well. I know I've had friends kind of with their local print manufacturer. They were able to do like what they called like excess colors. So like it's all the
Oh
colors from
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
else's, but like so when they go to put them together and press it, like you have yeah you might have bought 100 records to sell, but like every one's almost like a unique one of one because
Mm-hmm.
none of the colors are going to be the same, which is kind of cool sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Ah,
but
that would
yeah,
be sick. I wish that they had that option at the pressing plant. Yeah, I'd
yeah,
go with that. Oh, jealous.
yeah. If you could do, let's say, obviously, like you mentioned, an album has sold out on vinyl. If you were to do a second copy and do another color to go with that one, what kind of color would you kind of try and go for?
Probably something green. I don't know what, but like, I mean, even just like a clear green, would be cool. I think because there's like the like trees in the background of like the painting that are
Mm,
like a really nice green. And so I've always liked the green from that album. So I think green, yeah.
okay. Oh yeah. Well, Sam, this has been a great time getting to talk about everything that Avec Plaisir's got going on. Like I said, this album's killer. I'm really stoked for it. Hopefully get my hands on a copy here through We're Trying pretty soon. Um, but as we kind of wind down, I do have like one more question for you. This episode is kind of come out at the end of December, so almost the end of the year, as we kind of
Hmm.
reflect on the 2025 in general. With this album coming out, I know that it's probably like a big staple for the year. Uh, but like, what other things looking back on this year are you happy with that was able to be accomplished with in the band? Let me reword this so it doesn't sound so jumbled. Looking back on 2025, what are you most proud of for Avec Plaisir's life in this year?
Oh, um, you're really working my memory. Uh, yeah, I'll have to think. Because we're not like super prolific throughout the year. So like we've done like some really fun shows. Um, I think one of the latest ones was with Michael Palin that came through, and that was super fun. Like we've played with them a couple of times now, and like the nicest guys. Um, so that was super fun. I think that's like the most recent thing in my memory. But like other than that, it's been hell trying to finish this album. No, no, not really. No, it was really fun like recording everything. I think whenever we record stuff, like I always love watching our drummer do stuff because like I said, he's just like crazy. So like he comes in like some of the songs like maybe not these ones recorded, but like he'll come in like listen to it like twice and then just be like, yeah, I know what you need. So like that's always a plus as well. But yeah, I'd say like we've played some really good shows, met some new bands as well. Uh, yeah, it's been a productive year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm stoked on it. I'm also really stoked to kind of see what you guys do from here, and try and follow up active listening because I feel like you set the bar at a good standard for you guys yourselves to kind of go from here. So I'm really stoked on that.
Awesome,
Um,
thanks.
yeah. If anyone's looking for Avec Plaisir merch, music, or just you guys in general, where can they find it?
You can find some stuff on our Bandcamp. Like we have tapes and vinyl of the new album. We have vinyl of a split that we did as well with some really cool bands, Narrow Arrow, Champagne Colored Cars, and Fox Lake. So we still have some of those. And then we have a bunch of merch on Sad Songs Records as well. That's like this small label that me and our guitarist does on the side. So we
Okay.
we kind of we do mainly like cassettes and stuff like that, but like we have a bunch of merch on there as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
and in the States, obviously you can go to We're Trying Records and grab a copy of the album.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Also, you gotta lower the hat a little bit. Let
Oh
them see
yeah,
the logo
sorry.
for the sad songs. That's a sick logo.
Thanks. It's from a tattoo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Well, everyone, depending on where you found this episode, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, or you watched the YouTube version and got to see Sam's lovely face like I did today, make sure you check the hyperlinks down below. Go follow Avec Plaisir on all the socials. Be ready for new merch, new music, upcoming shows and tour dates. I think in the I saw I don't think I know because in the link tree you can find links to all the distros to go
yeah.
pick up the new active listening record. Sam, like one last big thank you to you for taking the time out of your Wednesday to sit down with me and talk about your band.
Of course, any excuse to have some beers and talk music, really, and nice work on the pronunciation. I think throughout the
Did it get
talk you
better
got
throughout?
better and better. Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah! Now I'm gonna screw it up as I do it in the last sentence. You should have waited. Now's all the
uh,
pressure's on. But no, like yeah, this has been a great time. I'm so happy we got to do this. Hopefully when LP3 or EP3 comes out, we'll do another one of these and see what else has been going on in your life since then.
Sounds good.
But for everyone listening, go listen to Active Listening. Go follow Avec Plaisir on all the socials, and I'll catch everyone on the next episode. See ya.
Beers with Biz. Beers with Biz.